shout out to everybody. I want to talk to y'all real quick. Yo, the channel, like I said, has been going crazy. This is all because of y'all. We ended up getting 6,200 subscribers in like 6 days. You know what I mean? 5 or 6 days. So I want to say, a special shout out to everybody that's been supporting the lives. The chats have been going crazy. You know what I mean? Just the level of support is unreal. You know what I mean? And I'm not really used to this level of support. You know what I mean? Like where I come from and the entertainment space, the field that I talk about. So shout out to everybody. I do want to say this. There has been a lot of distractions going on, and we're starting to see, even you got like younger people coming out and paying attention to what's happening with politics in the election. Some people are like, yo, like, why is this happening? You know what I mean? Like we're looking at North Carolina, the issues with that. We don't see anything happening in terms of a plan to try to mitigate the damage that happened to, some of the people that are there, so people are upset. I get it. I'm kind of upset about it too, to see people doing, like mock sit downs and photo ops with different people instead of being out on the ground trying to figure out what's going on. It's just appalling to me, so I don't know. Shout out to everybody. So we watched a lot of Kamala Harris, what she's been doing, which is basically nothing in my opinion. You know what I mean? And it's just my opinion. Do not, if you feel like you are blue and you are going to vote that route, I'm not, telling you not to. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, what I see is incompetence, to the highest level. So I don't know. Shout out to y'all. I've been seeing some videos circulating around. One I want to get to, and I'm not sure if they even gonna really let me play it, but I'm gonna play it anyway. So this is the Young Turks. This is a super liberal platform. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel if y'all can. Very liberal platform. Like super anti anything to do with red. This is that platform. These guys are admitting that Kamala Harris is in trouble. They are admitting that she's not really doing good in the polls. They are admitting things need to, she has to work on turning things around. Kamala Harris is going ahead and doing interviews everywhere. Everywhere except for platforms that are really going to test her. Besides the 60 Minutes platform that we found out, and I thought they did a pretty good interview right until I found out what happened, and Trump actually posted this. They ended up altering that interview to make Kamala Harris look better. We're gonna get to all of that, man, but right now we're gonna get to the Young Turks and see what they say about this.
Because new polls are out and it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris.
New polls are out and it does not look good for Kamala Harris. So all of you guys been thinking that Kamala Harris is running the polls and this is going to be a landslide. People are now voting for Trump. He doesn't want to do another debate, you know what I mean, because he's losing. No, he doesn't want to do another debate because he doesn't want to help her. Because if you looked at the other debate, like the debate with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, she's force-fed the questions allegedly. They're finding out she may have like a microphone in her earring, like all of this stuff going on, right? Being helped with questioning. Trump is being fact-checked. Only one side is being fact-checked. They even tried to do it to J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance called him out and saying, like, in the Tim Walz debate, you're not about to sit here and fact-check me. These are not the rules. The rules are you guys are not supposed to fact-check me. So if Trump was to go ahead and do another interview or another presidential debate, it's not going to be anything less than a setup. In my opinion, this is my personal opinion. This will be nothing more than a setup. So 60 Minutes, yeah, they can put on, oh yeah, like we're giving her tough questions. Yeah, they're giving her a little bit less than softball questions, right? Not really super hard questions, but a little bit less than softball questions because they want to end up getting Trump over there. That's what I think. They get Trump over there, then they start really grilling him and going in, right? But I see through it, and I'm sure the American people see through it as well. But this guy is saying right now that Kamala Harris is having problems in the polls.
I have not been this worried in a long time.
He has not been this worried in a long time. This is insane, bro. This is insane.
So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. So I'm going to go break down all the numbers for you guys. They don't look great. I'm going to give you what people in D.C. are saying, Democratic Party are saying, Republican pollsters, everyone across the board, how are the markets doing, et cetera. First, look, I'm telling you this, not again to ha-ha or whatever. I'm telling you because the pundits are almost always wrong. They never come back and tell you, oh, yeah, we got it wrong, et cetera. They don't tell you oftentimes ahead of time. They do Monday morning quarterback. They've, all those different things that they do wrong. The reason I tell you guys stuff ahead of time.
Y'all see a problem with this? If you ask me, it looks like somebody's losing faith. Yeah, hey, Randy. So Randy in the chat, shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. And I do look at the comments, and I do, unlike a lot of people, I actually like read my chat. And if I see something good come up, I'm going to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to the chat. Somebody said something. They said, hey, if this dude is worried, Randy, I'm going to shout your name out if you don't mind. Randy. He said, if this dude is worried, it sums it up for Kamala 100. Let me show you guys who he
constantly
is. Let me show you guys who this guy is. This is an ultra liberal.
Constantly.
Let me show you this.
Than anything a Democrat has ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So okay, then you're super guilty, Piers.
In America,
Piers, you're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has done 2,000 times worse, and you know it. You won't even run it on this show.
Okay.
You won't even run it on this show because
this dude gets so mad, like his blood vessels are like coming out all in his face. This is how mad he gets. Anything in relation to the Red Party, the Republican Party, anything like look how mad he is. Look how calm Candace Owens is. Look how calm Piers Morgan is. Look how calm this guy is. Look how raging he is for the Democratic Party.
Donald Trump, what he says is so much worse than anything a Democrat has ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So that's it. Are you telling Donald Trump, you better shut up? You better not say any of those.
His tactics are usually to get on a platform and bully. He's going to talk over you. He's going to scream. Yeah, salute to the chat, Cassandra Levy. Corey Jenkins, shout out to you for being in here. PJ, P Got Smoke is in here. Shout out to you. Atlas is in here. Shout out to you. Hit the super chat if y'all can, the Cash App if y'all can, it'd be appreciated. This guy normally tries to bully anybody he's up here with for the Democratic Party.
Those gross things that you always say. You know that he joked about smashing Nancy Pelosi's husband's head in with a hammer.
Yeah, and the truth
One
is,
of his
Cenk,
lunatic fans tried to murder Nancy Pelosi's husband, and he's like, it's so.
He's on Piers Morgan's program, and he will not allow Piers Morgan to speak in his own house. This is how raging he is when it comes to the Liberal Party.
Funny.
Here's the
Do you
problem.
know that when they try to murder his vice president,
Here's the problem,
he then
Cenk.
turned around and said he deserved it.
Here's the problem.
He's a psycho.
Here's
and
the
you defend
problem.
him every day, Piers.
Here's the problem. You have no idea what I've said about Trump when he's done these things. If you had, you wouldn't accuse me of not talking about them because
So are
I
you telling
always
him to
do.
shut up?
Because I always do.
Are you telling him to shut up?
Okay, so let's just take a beat.
It's crazy, bro.
Would actually be a sensible thing.
And a danger and so on and so on. Exactly
Watch how Candace Owens like kind of owns this dude.
the kind of rhetoric that Trump has said he believes is fueling these people to try and kill him. What do you make of where we are with this?
What I make of all of this is
I
that
need y'all to hit. Yes, I got the mega. Hit the subscribe button. I got the mega on. Yes. It's happening. It's happening. Live with it.
If you are going to legitimately tell people that someone is a monster, that somebody is a dictator, that somebody is literally Adolf Hitler, if you're going to tell people that this person is a constant threat, why wouldn't somebody try to eliminate that threat? That would actually be a sensible thing for somebody to do if they believe the rhetoric that is coming out of people's mouths.
He can't even take hearing anything. He's ready to try to bully her. She's being as respectful as she possibly can to somebody that is irate, raging, out of control on someone else's platform, unable to control himself. She's trying to be as respectful as she can.
That would actually be a sensible thing for somebody to do if they believe the rhetoric that is coming out of people's mouths. Now,
Then
if
all
this
of the
had
right
happened
wing
and
is
it was
guilty,
flipped,
including you, Candace.
Cenk, you just
You're all
spoke for a
guilty.
very long
You've
time.
done
Candace finish,
10,000
please.
times worse than
Let
you know.
Candace
Control
speak.
yourself.
Cenk.
Cenk, you're going to have
Pierce Morgan had to get in here and go crazy. Let Candace speak. You're not about to sit up here and bully her on my platform. With your tactics, with your liberal tactics. Like, we're not about to do that.
to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you, but you just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. You need to sit on your hands, then you should do that.
She told him, if you need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. Go in, Candace Owens. Don't let him like who do you think he is, bro? But you got this raging guy, right? Admitting defeat.
Losing in almost all the swing states. So
She's losing in almost all of the swing states.
proud, and it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. So I'm going to go break down all the numbers for you guys. They don't look great. I'm going to give you what.
As I was saying, if this situation had been reversed and I had just watched somebody try to.
Nick said, I like Candace Owens. Bro, Candace Owens is the only person that said anything. Y'all subscribe to the channel too. The algorithm is going to try to suppress this. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need y'all to go crazy on the like button. Right? Candace Owens revealed the truth about Kamala Harris. Family tree. The alleged truth, right? She went through and found out who that lady was that Kamala Harris was sitting on her lap. She found out that wasn't her grandmother that everybody is trying to depict. No, that was the help. Nobody else wanted to say anything about it. Those videos got millions and millions of views and everybody's quiet and mum about it. You know what we hear in the news? Oh, J. Cole is explaining why he stepped out of the rap race with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. That's what's the headline news in the urban community right now. Why did I do a blog? Let me show y'all this, bro. This is me being like completely transparent with y'all, right? Why did I do a blog on J. Cole responds to ducking Kendrick Lamar fade, and then Vlad TV responding to Jaguar right? 7 hours ago, it's got 18,000 views. Hey, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? People are really interested in that. And we getting off track. You know, I could distract all day. Ray J says the unthinkable about Diddy, 44,000 views. 50 Cent reacts to Diddy accuser, 37,000 views. Jaguar Wright goes in on 50 Cent, 79,000 views. Like Drake fires at Jay-Z, 45,000 views. The Menendez brothers, you know, new evidence could lead to a release, 39,000 views. Talking about Dame Dash, 27,000. I could distract all day long. But I think we got bigger things to worry about. We got an election coming up. 18,000 views, I'll take it. Hey, that's good. A lot of people don't even get 400 views talking about something like that. But that's what's being like, that's taking up the airtime right now. If you look, let me show y'all something, bro. Hold on. Look at this. All the reactors, Everybody is hard at work to distract y'all from what is going on. Look at all of these videos. You got Robert F. Kennedy. He's got a video out trying to like direct people. Look at all these videos distracting people. All these videos distracting people. Nicki Minaj is out here distracting people. We got an election coming up. That should be the primary focus. What we got? Like, y'all subscribe to the channel, stop playing. Review Craze, shout out to you. We got an election coming up, y'all. What we doing?
Shoot Kamala Harris, I would be definitively saying how wrong it was. I would be saying to people that despite the fact that I do not want her to be president, of course, she is not so much of a threat that she needs to be shot. They don't stop this rhetoric because they do not want these assassination attempts to stop on Donald Trump. And I want to be very clear. The circumstance that we find ourselves in the West is one of remarkable privilege.
Why are you shaking your head? No, there were 2 attempts on Donald Trump. What are you doing? What are you doing? He can't even hear logic.
I had just watched somebody try to shoot Kamala Harris. I would be definitively saying how wrong it was. I would be saying to people that despite the fact that I do not want her to be president.
Bro, nobody is saying, like, and he's shaking his head, all this like bully tactics. Nobody is saying that an attempt on Kamala Harris needs to happen. Like, you know what I mean? And continuing to run down Kamala Harris, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they have their criticisms, but if the roles were reversed, I don't think these people would be sitting there like you are. After, like, you know what I mean, somebody's running for candidacy, a candidate running for presidency got an attempt on their life. But he is so, like, enraged with the thought of any positive talk being said about the Republican Party, but he has no choice now. He's got to admit defeat.
New polls are out, and it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states.
That's something to think about, y'all. That is something to think about, y'all. But, I want to bring y'all attention to something else, right? Because I seen something very troubling, right? I mean, you got people speaking out, but this guy said something that I cannot believe he just said. Tim Walsh says they're trying to do the same thing to this country that Reagan did to California by offering mass amnesty. If this happens, they'll never lose another election. Listen to what's going on. So y'all know, allegedly, California is passing some things to where voters do not need voter ID. We've got an immigration issue. Mass people are coming over within the past couple of years. It's quadrupled. They talked about it on 60 Minutes when Kamala Harris was asked about immigration, and the guy said, I actually covered this, and it's quadrupled within the last, couple of years. And then we've got more fentanyl coming in and all that. And she had to answer, and she was just like, well, I've tried to cut, the fentanyl by half that's coming in, which means that more is coming in under Kamala Harris. And Americans are worried. All these people are coming in. They're getting services, right? These people are coming in illegally, and they're coming in and they're taking your jobs. With the voter ID issue, to where they don't need an ID to vote, the people that are coming over here illegally, you got to think, if they go to the polls and they can figure out a way for these people to vote, who do you think they're going to vote for? You think they're going to vote for Donald Trump, that's making it more difficult for them to come to the United States? And I'll throw the Democrats a bone with this one, right? I don't even think when Obama was in, they will be voting for him, right? Because Obama was like one of the hardest people when it came to immigration. Like, he was like sending people out of this country left and right. Y'all don't remember that? That's what was going on. So I'll throw him throw him one with that. But under the Kamala Harris administration, they just flooding in, and they're trying to change the laws on the books to where these people just go in there and vote. When that happens, black people, I'm sorry to tell you, you no longer matter. White people with a majority, I'm sorry to tell you, oh, they starting to look for somebody else that's a little bit more viable to them, more favorable to them, less conservative. And it's going to be those people flooding in. Listen to what Tim Walz says. This is insane.
This is what you want, and this is what we know. To enact an earned pathway to citizenship for those who've lived in this country for years. This issue should not divide us. It should unite us.
So they want people to come here, right? You come here, just lay low. Yeah, hit the like button, Cassandra Levy. Tell them what's up. Hit the like button. What y'all doing, man? Y'all want me to shout out to all the subscribers. We just got a lot of new subscribers. Appreciate y'all. If y'all in the chat, tell me you subscribe and I shout you out. It's all good, right? They want people to come into this country, lay low for a number of years, and they'll give you an easy pathway into citizenship. When that happens, who do you think they're going to vote for? Who do you think they're going to vote for? Jose Soto said, facts, double tap the screen. Tara Robbie said, I subscribe. Shout out to you. And this dude is just outlining what they're trying to do.
This is what you want, and this is what we know. To enact an earned pathway to citizenship for those who've lived in this country for years.
They've been here years. Shouldn't they have figured out how to get citizenship by now? They've had a lot of services for years. They've had a lot of help for years. Antonio Jenkins, shout out. I've been subscribed for a minute. For years. There's something else that's actually pretty crazy. I want y'all to see this. I don't even know if I can show it. I'm actually, I didn't know Kamala Harris and Montel Jordan was like a thing. Did y'all know that? Kamala Harris and Montel Jordan. Yo, she just like anybody that's rich, because she loved that small town talk. I grew up in a small town, family, small business owner, but when it come down to it, she be aligning herself with a lot of rich people. I wonder who her interest is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just questioning. I just wonder what her interest is. You know what I mean? Like when I watch The View, this is what I see when I watch The View.
Please,
right?
Welcome back. The next president of the United States.
This is what I see on The View when I watch it. When I watch this interview, this is what I see. A bunch of clowns. And the clown show. Isn't this what y'all seen when y'all was watching The View? Anti-man. That's what I seen when I was watching The View. I don't know, just me. You know what I mean? Maybe y'all can tell me different. Like, y'all don't remember this?
Put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that...
That's crazy. All y'all new subscribers, shout out to y'all. I see y'all flooding in here. Y'all tired of this.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana.
Shout out to Blaze Face, Durante Prince. He said, I been subbed.
Marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
And Review Craze said, The View gets me triggered. Bro, this a clown show, bro.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep...
Shout out to Reginald Charles said I subscribe. There's a video that's being sanitized from the internet. Have y'all seen this? I don't even know I can play it. This video is being sanitized from the internet. They confronting Kamala Harris. And I said, how is this not going viral? Right? I could do, you know what I mean? I could post a lot of stuff that goes viral, right? I posted this with Ray J. It's going viral now, right? Because we talked about it, and I posted it 1.1 million views. Why is this not going viral? Like, just in general. Listen to this. So Kamala Harris disrupted on Jimmy Kimmel Live. 15,000 children unalive because of you. This is what they said.
15,000 children died because of you. Stop the genocide. You're a murderer. 15,000 children died. Kamala Harris. It's good to have you.
And Jimmy Kimmel was like, good to have you.
Genocide. You're a murderer. 15,000 children died. Kamala Harris. It's good to have you.
You're interrupting my flow.
He said, you're interrupting my flow. People are waking up, man.
Well, then why put...
Dom Vows 65 said I subscribe. Shout out to you, man, for subscribing.
Well, then why put me...
No, that one, I ain't gonna play that one. Shout out. Oh, so Donald Trump ended up posting this, right? Says a giant fake news scam by CBS and 60 Minutes. Her real answers was crazy or dumb. So they actually replaced it with another answer in order to save her or at least make her look better. A fake news scam, which is totally illegal. Take away the CBS license. Election interference. She is a moron. And the fake news media wants president scandal the Democrats got them to do. This should be forced to concede the election. Wow. So what we're going to run is the actual answer, and then we're going to run the edited answer. So you guys can see, because I could distract y'all all day long with entertainment. Shout out to Mike Crazy 88 says subscribe. This is what they trying to do. Remember when I said this early on today, I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, it kind of looks like they're probably just trying to make like some kind of interview, whatever, you know what I mean? And then asking someone not softball questions, but then try to get Donald Trump up there. He's seen through all of this, bro. He caught the fakeness, the actual answer and the edited answer. Why is this going on?
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Y'all don't see a problem here? They're making up family members too. Candace Owens had to figure that out. They're being quiet about it. These clowns trying to trick y'all. This is a clown show.
Please welcome back the next president of the United States.
show. This is crazy. I want to show y'all something that is scary. Y'all know Robert Kennedy is his family lineage has been liberal. He changed his mind. He see what's going on. Listen to what he alleges. I'm gonna put this out there for you, Robert Kennedy. Y'all listen to this. Whatever you doing, whoever is around you, if you at work, go to the bathroom and hide, because you need to listen to this. If you're driving, pull over, because you need to listen to this. If you're around a bunch of people that's talking, go to another room, because you need to listen to this. What you are about to hear is like they will never allow this to be heard. And this is Robert Kennedy telling you this. It says Dr. Phil and RFK Jr. have a great conversation about the alphabet soup agenda. I don't think y'all ready for this. New sub, Unique Joy 777, appreciate you. I don't think y'all ready for this. When I tell you to sit down, I mean this. He's about to expose everything. And you are going to understand why he just left that party. People are starting to figure things out. Maybe this is why they're losing in the polls.
And it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time.
Well, this is not about to look good for the whole, blue administration. Check this out.
Let me ask you this about Big Pharma, and this is about vaccines. You say that the government regulators have been bought off by Big Pharma. I think that's what you're saying when you say that this entanglement has occurred. You said agency employees are actually getting royalties, getting payments on vaccines and drugs that they approve.
My blood is starting to boil. They made everybody get the jab. Robert F. Kennedy, and he ain't done, saying agencies, regulators, all these people that help pass that, he gonna get deeper into this. They're getting kickbacks for the rest of their life. This is not a regular person. He is respected in politics because of his father and what he did. His family was getting wiped out in front of your eyes. He still got that spirit in him. He like, nah, we got to talk about this. They're getting kickbacks. Remember when you couldn't go to work without getting that jab? Remember that? Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. It gets worse.
Is that true?
Yes, there's a couple things happening. For example, the Moderna vaccine. NIH owns half of that vaccine, 50%. So the billions of dollars that vaccine makes, half of that goes to NIH, the agency, but there's also individuals, at least 4, and maybe 6 individuals who work for NIH who are high-level deputies under Anthony Fauci who get to collect $150,000 a year forever.
Why aren't y'all hitting the like button? If I talk about Jay-Z, I talk about, I'm telling y'all what is going on. Hit that like. Yes. Yes. Hey, see what was going on. Wait a minute. Why ain't these blue people talking about this? They went as far as to shut down the country to ensure you had to get that. They getting kickbacks. He going into it even further. Their relatives is getting kickbacks.
Not just for their lives, but their children, as long as that mRNA individuals, at least 4 and maybe 6 individuals who work for NIH, who are high-level deputies under Anthony Fauci, who get to collect $150,000 a year forever, not just for their lives, but their children. As long as that mRNA technology is on the market, they're going to be making money from it.
Okay,
and that is a conflict.
Hang on a minute.
My blood is boiling right now. Y'all not mad? That don't make you like question things? This is a Kennedy telling you that. They're getting $150,000 for the rest of their life. Their kids are getting kickbacks as long as it stays on the market. This is what he's saying. I'm not saying that. YouTube, I'm not saying that. This is what he's saying. Subscribe to the channel.
Get to collect $150,000 a year forever, not just for their lives, but their children. As long as that mRNA technology is on the market, they're going to be making money from it.
Okay,
and that is a conflict.
Hang on a minute now, because I don't want to blow by this too fast. So the National Institute of Health is getting a kickback, a bribe, a royalty, a share, whatever you want to call it. Is this not?
Shout out to you, Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil knew what was going on when he did this interview. He knew what was going to be brought up. He knew what was going to be talked about. He knew that this could potentially go viral. He knew the powers that be that he was going to upset when he put this out. Shout out to Dr. Phil, because you didn't have to do this interview. A lot of people do not want something like this getting out. There's a lot of people at play, a lot of powerful people that do not want this information getting out. Robert Kennedy doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's like the people need to know this. It's a conflict of interest going on in America. They're using their political friends to make this happen.
Because I don't want to blow by this too fast. So the National Institute of Health is getting a kickback, a bribe, a royalty, a share, whatever you want to call it. Is this not a clear conflict of interest?
Yes.
That's what you're pointing out, right?
Yeah, it is. People are shocked.
Why are you the only one talking about this?
If you talk about this kind of thing, you get censored on YouTube. You will not be allowed.
All I'm going to say is a lot of these companies, these social media companies, all of them, a lot of them, most of them, a lot of them, some of them.
On the mainstream media.
Who do they like? But do the research on your own, and I'm not about to do it on here. The biggest platforms. I'm not going to do that research on here and show y'all that, right? Who do they donate to? What party? Why is it on all these different platforms you see all blue? All of this positive news about Kamala. I just wonder why. I just wonder, I just wonder why that's it. He said, why is it this good? Why are you the only person talking about this?
Why are you the only one talking about this?
If you talk about this kind of thing, you get censored on YouTube. You will not be allowed on the mainstream media to talk about these issues. It used to be that you could, and nowadays you cannot. With FDA, about 50% of FDA's budget comes from regulated industries, so mainly the pharmaceutical industries. You have agency capture on steroids. The principal objective of FDA today is to serve the mercantile interests of pharmaceutical companies. And that's why you see FDA not only approving all of these drugs that shouldn't be approved, but they also are, out to destroy things that are actually shown to be good for you, that do not make profits for the pharmaceutical companies.
This man should be running presidency. They will never support somebody like Robert Kennedy. He's for the people. And then that boy Wink said, this is real scary movie right here. Yeah, I'm telling you, what he just uncovered and said, P Smoke said they've been doing that. There's no money in cures. Bro, they got all this. Oh, we got this C, I'm just going to say the C word. C word research. Donate, like when you're checking out at grocery stores. C word research, you want to donate this and that. They've been doing that for years. You think the companies that would actually put that out if it was a cure, you think they will put it out so they can stop all them? You know how much of their profits will be stopped? Chemo pills and all that, like that would be, they make a lot of money on you. Have y'all ever, like, real quick, right? And I always talk about this and I always make it a point to bring it up. People get mad, I don't care, because we got to talk about this. When I went to Switzerland, France, and Italy, right? And I'm not saying that you can do it too. I did a payment plan. It is what it is. Found the tickets, cheapflights.com, bought it. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? I'm not flexing. Went over there. When I went to London, went over there. When I was driving around through Europe, one thing that I noticed is that you do not see the C word, right? Cancer, or whatever, thug life. You do not see all those buildings around, research buildings and this and that. Why is that? Like, if I'm driving through Louisville, Kentucky, driving through Nashville, Tennessee, going to Cleveland, Ohio, driving through Florida, even New Orleans, just went to New Orleans. Like, when I go to all these different places, I see all of these C-word buildings everywhere. I'm not saying that doesn't happen everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, that situation doesn't happen to a lot of people, because it does, right? But I think other countries try to make provisions to lower the incidences of this happening. Aspartame, they do not want in their food. I'm not saying, like, whatever. Shout out to the people that, you know what I mean, create that. I ain't coming at you. I'm just saying that high levels of sugar and everything, high sodium levels, people having strokes left and right in America. I mean, it just is what it is. Salt, insane. Now, if you want to, like, grow your own product, I shouldn't say product, but grow your own food, it's becoming more and more difficult to get seeds. You got to go through Walmart. You got to go. You see what I'm saying? You see how it's getting? To import things is becoming more difficult. Why is that? Oh, well, you got to make sure herbs. It's a problem, like, getting herbs now. Like, come on, y'all. Things are synthetic. It's a lot going on, man. All this plastics. Somebody, shout out to Linda87 said, plastics and chemicals in foods. They're finding, like, levels of, like, plastics in our food. Our drinking water, they're finding, like, levels of nail polish. How long did the drinking water crisis last in Michigan? Flint, Michigan, wasn't it? Like, it lasted a very, very long time. They dragged their feet with trying to fix that. I don't even know if it's fixed. So when I go over there to Europe, right, and I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'2", 200, and like I'm big, like, you know what I'm saying, thug life. You know what I mean? I like being bigger, right? So I'm 6'2", 272, right? I'm big, right? Thug life. I can like whatever. I'm not like I'm you know what I'm saying, tall and like stock, right? Tell me why when I went over there in Europe, I ate everything that I could. I take blood pressure pills, right? This is why, because I don't sleep. People are like, yo, Piper Boy, you never sleep and you always supposed to, you always do. I just don't like sleep. I think sleep is like the cousin of death. That's what I think, right? But if you don't get enough of it, it's going to lead you to, you know what I mean, the cousin. You need to get sleep. But I don't like to sleep. I never liked sleep. I always like had a disdain for sleep. It just, you know, I feel like I'm wasting time, right? I'm always grinding or whatever, but you need to have sleep. So as a byproduct of me not having sleep, my blood pressure started rising. So I got on blood pressure messages, you know what I mean? It's what it is. Unfortunately, I work, you know what I mean? Start working out. It don't matter. You have to sleep, right? When I sleep, my blood pressure goes down. Just what it is. But I take that to mitigate my blood pressure being high, right? When I went to Europe, right? When I went to, I don't know, even know if this is going to be able to be said or whatever. I don't know. Well, when I went to London from America, I lost a bag that had my blood pressure medicine in it, right? And you know, like in America, you got to get another appointment. You got to do all of this. And it's just like a big mess just to, you know, if something happens, right? So I get over there and I'm like worried, which is not good because it's going to spike your blood pressure, right? I get over there and I'm hungry. I'm like, well, let me get something to eat, whatever. When I tell you I ate everything that I can see, because the one thing you're going to notice when you go to Europe and you eat things is it actually tastes like food. And you think that when you're here, you're eating things and it tastes like food? No. When you go over there, remember when you were younger, and I'm going to get to the story, right? Remember when you were younger, you had cheesecake. You may have had, you know what I'm saying, and pause, like eating Fruity Pebbles for the first time. All that, like your taste buds was just excited. Like, oh my God, this tastes amazing. But all of a sudden, like you're older and you remember like, oh, like food was like amazing when I was younger. Like, nah. When you go to Europe, it tastes exactly the same as when you was a kid because they do not have all of these additives and fake chemicals in all of their food. So you taste real food. You know what I mean? So when I went over there and I ate everything that I could see. Went to every store that I could see, any food, I ate it. Fast food, everything. Thug life. I didn't care. I'm on vacation, whatever. I'm gonna get some sleep and I'm gonna eat everything. When I tell you, I thought I gained 20 pounds. Because of all the food I ate, like in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna gain like mad weight. I lost 15 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds. And I ate more over there than I did over here. Not only did I lose like, it was like 12 pounds, like whatever, thug life. You know what I'm saying? Not only did I lose weight, my blood pressure went down. I didn't even have my blood pressure medicine. Like, how is this happening? They don't have as much salt in their food. You see what I'm saying? Then I had to like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, I still got to get my blood pressure medicine. You know what I'm saying? It's easy over there. You just call, they say, come in. It's 100 like francs, whatever. Just come in and we got you. Ain't no waiting a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. Seeing this person and that person and then get, it's just like, yo, just pay the $100 is what it is. Right away. I always heard it was a whole bunch of waiting. That's what I heard. Oh, their system is like, oh, it's, you know, oh no, you gotta wait. It's a whole different story over there. Man, I went over there, they're like $100, like it's 100 francs or whatever. That was it. But what I'm trying to get across, bro, you know, like in America, it's a lot of sugar. And I think this was under the Clinton administration. I think he was doing deals with like the sugar companies, whatever. Allegedly. Put out allegedly. It's not reckless endangerment of the truth. It's just alleged, right? But he was helping them. Whatever, allegedly. Sugar causes inflammation. I said inflation. Inflammation in your joints. Inflammation can lead to different things. They say inflammation is like the root cause of a lot of illnesses that go on in America. Or across the world, right? because there was less sugar content and everything. I mean, I felt like I was Michael Jackson out there like, wait a minute. Moving around. I got more energy. I'm losing weight. I'm you know what I'm saying? I can sleep easier. I was more relaxed. And this is another thing that made me eat just like everything I could see. Bro, over there, they pay their citizens enough. When I was in Italy, right? I was in, this is when I was in Genoa, Italy, before I even got to Lake Como, Italy, right? When I was in Genoa, Italy, we was eating. And we went to a pizza place, because, you know, you always got to try a pizza place. It's like a restaurant. Went to a few restaurants in Italy. When the bill came out, I said, oh, where's the spot where you tip? And they say, we don't do that here. We make enough in our country. Like, they low-key got annoyed that I even thought about tipping them, because tipping them means that they don't make enough money in their mind. Oh, I went to every restaurant after that. In America, when you're going to get sticker shock when you get back to America. The price of everything, like, because they always market the propaganda in America. Oh, don't go to Europe. Shout out to everybody for subscribing. It's a whole lot of y'all that just subscribed. I appreciate y'all. The propaganda train in America is the most free country. No, that's not true. Hey, I'm born here. I'm going to defend this country. That's how, you know, my mind is, right? When I go over there, oh, they got way less restrictions. You know how, like, when you're on the road, like, just driving around here, oh, 25 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour speed limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get on the highway, 65 mile an hour speed limit, you but not speed. Oh, double the fines, this and that, this and that. Man, when I tell you, I was driving for a minute before I even seen the speed limit. And they had less accidents. I didn't see one accident in 8 days over there. Americans can't drive. I'm sorry, we can't. Insurance is high. We can't drive. Thug life. Go 8 days without seeing an accident in America and you've been out in the shop. I'm not talking about you sitting in the house all day. Shout out to P. Jeezy with the $5 super chat. Salute. Like, if you drive around there, you're going to see an accident or two. Over there, no accident. People flying on that highway. Less restrictions. It's not a crazy tipping culture. The food, like, one thing about the food over there, you know, like, rich people over here, they eat, like, organic food. Some like, super rich people have their food, like, flown in. You know what I mean? Because they don't really even want to eat what's in here. You ever notice, like, a lot of celebrities, like, their skin is always, like, crazy clear? Like, you are what you eat, right? They don't be eating this. They got, like, private, like, chefs and stuff like that, and they get food, like, brought in. They know what's up with America. Well, not the propaganda machine. Talk about propaganda. Oh, it's super expensive in Europe. Oh, their money is worth more. Blah, blah, blah. It's super expensive. Oh, you can't go over there, right? Man, I went over there. I was eating everything, living the life. The hotels is cheaper. And I posted a lot of, like, people think I pay, like, wild money for the hotels that I had, like, on Twitter. You know what I mean? Right on the lake. $125 a night. They tax you after you pay. And, like, a $10 tax. $10 or $15 tax. After that. Here, they want to hold your credit card. They want to charge you a whole bunch of money for, like, a night stay. They want to do all that craziness. Go to Europe and tell me what feels more free. You feel like doing a U-turn? Just do a U-turn. I'm just saying what it is. It's how I feel. Go to America. Go to Chicago. Go to New York. Try to park your car. Oh, the city is taxing you. If you want to park, oh, they taxing you. If you can find a parking spot. Parking is kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of expensive in Europe. But when I came back and I had to go grocery shopping, when I tell you sticker shock, and I'm like, you know, because when I got here, you know, because you're on the plane ride, right? It's like a long plane ride. You got to eat like the food that's on the plane, or you deny it, whatever, and you wait. You know what I'm saying? Until you get back to the States. I ate. So what they did was, this is, I think it was American Airlines. It was like one of them I was flying. I can't remember. United. I can't remember. One of them. On the way there, they feed you like Europe food. Oh my God, it was amazing. And this was plain food. You know what I'm saying? On the way back, they feed you American food. Big difference in taste. Yeah, somebody said 173 likes. Hit the like button, bro. We exposed to everything. I don't care. Rock with me or don't rock with me. The truth is going to get out. Right? When I came back here and I'm like, yo, I'm not about to eat this crap, bro. I feel like healthy. You know what I mean? I feel like lighter. You know what I mean? You got to eat a whole bunch of salad to feel light, man. I was eating heavy over there and I felt like, I'm like, man, I don't want to eat this crap when I get, man, I went and I tried to get like some organic food, which probably is on the same assembly line as regular apples. You know what I mean? Like crazy expensive for everything. Unreal. So I got sticker shock. So it's differences. You know what I mean? And I think they kind of want us sick. And it goes back to what Mr. Kennedy was saying.
Of pharmaceutical companies. And that's why you see FDA not only approving all of these drugs that shouldn't be approved, but they also are, you know, out to destroy things that are actually shown to be good for you that do not make profits for the pharmaceutical company.
Why isn't this lady Kamala like really saying anything about any of this stuff? Why is she just saying like, oh, my mom was a small business owner? I think people are starting to see through the charade. Even this guy, ultra conservative, can't hold his temper.
And we were quiet. I promise you can.
I mean, ultra liberal can't hold his temper.
That you need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. As I was saying, if this situation had been reversed and I had just watched somebody try to shoot Kamala Harris, I would be definitively saying how wrong it was. I would be saying to people that despite the fact that I do not want her to be president, of course, she is not so much of a threat that she needs to be shot. They don't stop this rhetoric because they do not want these assassination attempts to stop on Donald Trump. And I want to be very clear. The circumstance that we find ourselves in the West is one of remarkable privilege. And when you're
like, he's mad, but he just put out a blog.
So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. So I'm going to go break down all the numbers for you guys. They don't look great. I'm going to give you what people in D.C. are saying, Democratic Party are saying, Republican pollsters.
Why don't they look great?
Everyone across the board, how are the markets doing, et cetera. First, look, I'm telling you this, not again to ha-ha or whatever. I'm telling you because the pundits are almost always wrong. They never come back.
Hey, King said, no, I got stopped for jaywalking and I'm white. And then Paul said, hey, yo, I can't even really say that word on here. He said the pills is a lot cheaper in the UK because the NHS in UK is bigger buyer of medicines. Come on, bro. And then he said, I found out what jaywalking is the other day. The US is wild. And yo, they say we free. Hey, Rubeline with the $2 donation said, thank you for what you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all new subscribers. And that kind of, you know, that fuels me to like continue to do this because I could easily, and I showed y'all the views like on other like topics. I could easily just talk about anything else and get like 50,000, 30,000. I could do that. We got an election coming up. They want us to distract you with the J. Cole. And I did that J. Cole just to show y'all, like, it's like, wow, people watching this. You know what I mean? And we got an election coming up. J. Cole is so for everybody. Why did he not wait to put that song out? Knowing what it was going to do. He's a millionaire. He don't have to like move right now. He could have waited. It's a lot of distractions, keeping y'all distracted from this. He even had to come out and say it.
All the swing states. So I'm going to go Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. So
this is why you're seeing her on The View, the clown show. That's why you're seeing her on the clown show.
The next president of the United States.
That's why you're seeing her on 60 Minutes. The clowns get together to try to trick y'all. Will she ever be asked a question on the Howard Stern show when she did an interview talking about her mom? Is she going to answer the claims that Robert Kennedy is making? I doubt it. People are starting to wake up.
So
Listen to
since
this.
I got a little platform, I'm going to go ahead and use it because a lot of people seem to be misinformed. Kamala Harris is not the better option. Don't be fooled just because she is a woman and she is of color. She is not for the people. And me being from the Bay Area and being around when she was actually running the district attorney's office, let me help you understand what I mean by that. And before I have gazillion people hopping in the comments, you know, talking mess regarding Trump and all that, listen, between him and her, all you're doing is picking one of the lesser evils, and that's facts. But being that I am a part of the community of families that are affected by incarcerated people, I am going to go with the person who is less inclined to locking everybody up. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't know if that's correct. And I seen Yandy make a post saying that a lot of that is just propaganda. Well, let me help break it down for you. Kamala Harris grew up in the Berkeley, Oakland area. She went to law school at Hastings and graduated there and started off as a district attorney in Oakland. From Oakland, she went to Alameda before she went to San Francisco. Do y'all remember in 2010, there was that big drug lab scandal with Deborah Madden and the San Francisco Police Department? I remember specifically because I had 2 cases involved in that scandal. Let me help fill you in. She was the head district attorney at the time, and right under her was a guy named Gascon, something like that. He used to be a district attorney in Los Angeles when they had that big old scandal going on with a bunch of police misconduct. Anyhow, around that time, he was reviewing police files for misconduct, and he was basically telling her that there's no policy in place and there needs to be one for any time there's police misconduct. It needs to be reported to the lawyers and the judges on the case. She ignored him. Now, after she ignores his advice that
In the chat, let me know if y'all
place,
subscribe.
that way they can
You know what I mean? New subscribers. Let me know if y'all subscribe. Shout y'all out.
curb any type of misconduct that's going on in these cases. It comes out that there's this big drug scandal in the drug labs. Deborah Madden, she was the lead technician in the drug labs, and it had been reported several times to their office that this woman had an issue and that she shouldn't be testifying in anybody's cases. She was touching the drugs, she was stealing the drugs, she was sneaking the drugs. It was just a bunch of bullshit. All of that was hidden from the attorneys and the judges on the cases. Do you know how it came out? It came out because Deborah Madden's family finally took it to the news. And once it became public, then Kamala Harris tried to say that she didn't know anything about it. Yes, you did. Now, keep in mind, Deborah Madden's family also reported that they had already been contacting the district attorney's office for months prior to this, before coming to the news channel, to let them know that there was misconduct going on, and they were also concerned about their family member, all of which got ignored. Now, keep in mind, she was head district attorney at the time. So how are you running an entire department and you claim to not know what's going on in your office, although that was later proven to be bullshit and that she was aware, and her colleagues gave her up on that. But she just chose to withhold the information from the judges and the attorneys on those cases. And what was her reasoning behind that? She wanted to keep as many people locked up as she could, no matter if that case was mishandled, if there was misconduct to get that conviction or not. And she knew that if that misconduct got out, that was grounds for dismissal. And let's talk about Kevin Cooper. Do y'all remember him? That's the man that was hours away from his execution, and DNA had now became a thing, and his lawyers asked for the execution to be stopped and his DNA to be tested so it could possibly prove his innocence. She denied it and didn't want it to happen. However, Governor Newsom stepped up and said, no, let's go ahead and test his DNA, and come to find out, I'll be damned, it was not a match. Oh, wait, let's not forget when she...
If it would have been up to Kamala Harris, he would have been unalived.
actually made it a crime, and parents started getting charged with their children being truant. But when they ran the numbers, they realized that this mostly affected Pacific Islanders, Native Americans, African Americans, children with disabilities, and foster children. And
there was a story that was on the news. There was a lady, her daughter was in a hospital and she got prosecuted.
then she later tried to say it was an unintended consequence when she realized that parents were actually getting arrested for this. It was up to a $2,000 fine, up to a maximum of a year in county jail, and people were losing their welfare benefits because their children were truant from school. Unintended consequence. And those were her exact words. Like, what do you mean? You're the one that put this in place. And then when you were confronted with it after people were outraged that parents were actually being arrested for this, now you want to back up and say, oh, it was an unintended consequence. Well, what the hell did you think it was going to be? A scare tactic? And I know y'all already heard this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate it. What was it, about 1,900
Shout out to Walter Medina.
people that were arrested for smoking marijuana? Not selling, smoking marijuana. Like, get out of here. You're doing everything that you can to just lock people up and ruin their lives.
I mean, what more does she have to say? You see what I'm saying?
Anyone take Kamala Harris serious after watching this?
I want to take a moment, and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision?
I know what you're gonna ask.
About a man's body. Let's
No.
just pause.
No. Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
Yeah, no shit, you knew what she was going to ask. You wouldn't go on the show unless you knew exactly what she was going to ask and you were completely prepared to answer every single question. And I saw someone else bring this up, the draft. We're just going to pretend like for the last 100 years, as soon as a boy turned 18, there was a possibility that he could be sent off to fight a war that he probably wasn't going to come back from. And yeah, it's been a long time since a draft has actually happened, and it might not ever happen again thanks to the men and women that volunteer to fight for our country. I love you so much. But I remember as a guy turning 18 years old, this was like 5 years ago, it's recent, getting a piece of paper in the mail that asked me to register to vote, and as soon as I registered to vote, I would be eligible for a draft if it were to take place. So it technically still could happen, and if it were to happen, men would be the first people chosen to go off and fight in drone warfare. And honestly, the craziest part about all of this is that there are devastating hurricanes going on right now. People's lives are being wiped out. They're losing everything that they have, and instead of doing something to help Americans right now, she's on a podcast talking about Roe v. Wade because in her mind, she thinks that that's going to get her more votes in a couple of months than helping devastated Americans right now. And don't
This dude is spot on.
get me wrong, Roe v. Wade is an important topic that needs to be figured out and talked about, but like at least postpone the interview a couple of weeks and go do something about the hurricanes. Like she straight up just said, yeah, I don't care about that. Let's get this podcast up right now.
There is laws on the books for men, and somebody in the chat just said it. It's called child support. The government doesn't want the male in the house, so the woman gets a lot of freebies if the male is not in the household. And then the male gets another surprise, which is child support. I got custody of my daughter. I took my child's mother to court. I got custody. But there's a vast amount of people who fall victim to this democratic way of doing things.
I'm going to go break down all the numbers for you guys. They don't look great. I'm going to give you what people in D.C. are saying, Democratic Party are saying, Republican pollsters, everyone across the board, how are the markets doing, et cetera. First, look, I'm telling you this, not again to haha or whatever. I'm telling you because the pundits are almost always wrong. They never come back and tell you, oh yeah, we got it wrong, etc. They don't tell you oftentimes.
So he's basically trying to say, but you know, I'm going to tell you like the truth. Like I'm not biased, like whatever. You got it wrong too. And then you got like this lady is basically saying women are turning against their men. Some women are falling out with the men in their lives because they refuse to vote for Kamala Harris.
Good morning, you guys. I hope that y'all's morning and week is off to a good start. I just wanted to touch on something that I noticed that I find very unfortunate. I see that there are a lot of women who are actually falling out with the men in their lives because these men refuse to vote for Kamala Harris. I actually saw a video on here, and I do edit the video, but TikTok took it down because it violated community.
Subscribe to the channel, please. We've uncovered a lot. Subscribe to the channel.
Standards because some of the things that the people in the video were saying, but there was a young lady that actually wished unaliving on a young man because he refused to support Kamala Harris. Now, most of the dialogue that I have noticed has not been that extreme, but there are women that are falling out with their men, you know, that they're dating or, you know, whatever, their brothers, cousins, homeboys, uncles, like dads, like they are really mad at these men because these men refuse to vote for Kamala Harris. And I just feel that's not a wise thing to do, to alienate your protection, you know, your warrior class. It's just not wise to do that because when November comes and goes, there's going to be a backlash from one side or the other. If Kamala wins, there's going to be a backlash from the right. If Kamala loses, there's going to be a blame game from the left. So either way it goes, there's going to be a backlash and frustration is going to be taken out on a particular archetype, okay?
Let me tell you something. Any man.
The male.
Any man. And she's 100% right because I've been even getting calls from people that want coaching calls trying to figure out how it is that they're supposed to handle their family members or their wives or their sisters or even their mothers. And I had a phone call with my mother. And I had it on the...
Shout out to you, Beastmaster. He said, by the way, Greta, you sir for getting custody. Yeah, I had to do it, bro. I sat in court. You're talking about the child support thing. I sat in court for like every day, like for like a month. You know what I mean? That any day that they were gonna have like a trial, like for a month, and watched, waited. You know what I'm saying? And then did what I had to do. I did it all on my own to get custody. When she appealed, I had to get a lawyer to go in front of the judge. You know what I'm saying? Because the first is the magistrate, and she had my daughter longer. She's a woman. She made good money. So it was a uphill battle. Like I made all right money, but at that time she was making like more money than me. But I fought. Like, you're not about to take my daughter away from me. Like, that's not about to happen. And the judge, like, I had to take the judge to court too, because he wouldn't listen to me at first. So I took him to the Tennessee Supreme Court because he wouldn't listen. So while that was going on, he wouldn't do a change of venue. He started listening then. And then Ruby with the $10 donation said, my first time listening to you. My question is, why are Democrats so keen on destroying this country? Thank you for what you do. God bless you, sir. I don't know if it's that, bro. Ruby, I don't know if it's that. Like, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, right? So, like, in Cleveland, Ohio, it's like Democratic. Like, the Ohio state is like, people say it's like a Republican. But like where I'm from, they were very liberal. It's just what man. It's like indoctrination, the culture. If you're black, it's like an automatic assumption that you have to vote that way. And then some people who are, liberal, who may be like, LGBTQ, and I don't have no problems with them. They can do whatever they want to do, right? They're like been taught that, oh, Trump is a separatist, like he's right, like they've been taught all that, and it's like, wow, people like who are that way, you know what I'm saying? Like they even come into the light like, nah, y'all trying to push propaganda, y'all are actually the ones messing things up. Like I didn't really realize, I didn't wake up, and a lot of this is like region based, right? Or like wherever you live, like whichever state, city, or whatever you live in, right? You're gonna be heavily influenced from where you are. I was super liberal when I moved out here to Tennessee. I didn't understand things, but the one thing I did understand when I came here, I had 2 jobs when I first got here. I'm like, yo, why they got all the jobs out here? The cost of living wasn't crazy. It's going up now. That's because people from liberal states, you know what I mean, and cities are moving here from California and New York, you know what I'm saying? So like, they don't have as much housing. They're working on that. But everybody's leaving those places and moving here. Just like, I left and I moved here, right? When I moved here, I started to see, man, the roads look really good. I don't see that many potholes over here. The houses are so clean looking. You know what I mean? It just the way it was ran. I'm just like, oh man, who like? And then I started to pay attention to the politics. Like, what is really going on around here? And then I started to slowly see, like, you know, and then like the taxes was cheaper, you know, for certain things. Like, so I'm like, yo, like, what is this? Like, I mean, certain things, taxes are cheaper with certain things, cheapen certain things with Ohio, right? Cleveland, Ohio, right? But like when people would come here from different states, they would say the taxes are cheaper. And then I bought a house and I'm like, oh, I was able to buy a house here. Like looking at the property tax, looking at everything. It's not really that bad here. It's a good place to raise, you know, a family, have kids. The schools are good. And I started just waking up, man. That's what it was. And then I had the situation of custody and all of that. Like I had to go through that. And I'm like, yo, like they actually more progressive here than like if I would have went to custody court in Ohio, in Cleveland, like ain't no way I would have won. Here they're like, we don't care about all that. Like, I mean, the judge did, he low key was biased. I did have to take him to court, thug life, you know what I'm saying? But you know, all in all, like I just felt it was a better quality of life here. There was jobs everywhere. And then like in Ohio, in Cleveland, Ohio, in order to get a good job, you had to go through a union. The unions were like, you know, you had to know somebody that had a union, that knew a union person to even get you into the job. It was like, here it wasn't like that. It wasn't controlled by unions. So I started to see like, yo, this is like better. Seeing the problems with unions, they want to like make you pay union dues, and then like they don't really even be doing anything. Like every once in a while they may have like some big situation, like, you know what I mean, like that poor issue with the union workers and all that. But for the most part, the union, the people that run it, like are in cahoots with the owners. They making big money. They are against you. So it's just like everything. Then I started like talking to people. I'm like, yo, why is it like this out here? And it's just like, yo, that this is a Republican place. It's just what it is. Then I went to different states because, you know, the further south you are, like the closer you are to like other southern states, obviously. Start going to other southern states and just seeing like it's just different than the north. And then I went to California. Bro, and I'm getting taxed on, like, bro, I'm like, yo, California is crazy expensive. And then I would see people in like Tennessee, like with California place, and I would ask them, like, why are y'all moving out here? Not on some like, ugh, why are you moving out here? Like, why are y'all? I'm like, really, I want to know. Cause you know, I've been wanting to go to Cali and live out there, and like maybe thought it would be cool to live in New York and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I used to work at Island Def Jam and all that thug life. You know what I'm saying? But I would go down there for the summers and work. I'm like, yo, it'd be cool to live in New York and stuff. But I would see a lot of people with New York plates in California, and they would say like the tax is too expensive. The cost of living is too high. That's why we're here. And it's just like, maybe Republican ways are not that bad. Then I started doing like YouTube, right? Like what I would talk about, like entertainment or like battle rap or whatever. And you start making a little money. And then I went to school and got a pretty good career, I think, making money. And then you got to figure out what to do with your money, right? And it's like, I got the house, I got 2 Teslas, I got motorcycles, I got another car, I got hot tub, I got, you know what I'm saying, arcade machine in the house, I got, you know, a movie theater in the house, I got a whole, this is my gaming area, bro. This is a shed. Like, I just game in here. I got, you know what I mean, movie theaters set up, all of that in here for gaming, speakers everywhere. It's like, I start running out of things to do with money. So, like, the next thing you want to do is like invest your money, right? You want to invest wisely. You want your money to work for you. I started investing. Then I start looking at capital gains taxes, and I'm like, man, who is the people that's putting all these taxes into place? It wasn't the Red Party. It wasn't the Republicans. So it's like, man, I'm trying to invest. I'm trying to make a way. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm in a situation that I can start investing for my kids' future. Cause it's like, I mean, how many more cars do I need? You know what I mean? I got dope cars. I got like motorcycles. Like I don't, you know what I mean? what more do I buy? You know what I mean? You want to invest, but then like the negative impact if you make money in the market from the Liberal Party, it's just like ridiculous. Then I'm seeing they hiring like 86,000 IRS agents. It's like, man, the Republican way may actually be the best route for me. And then I started looking, it's like, yo, the 4 years before Biden got in, everybody was making money. The market was good. There were no wars. You see what I'm saying? I'm just responding. All of this is just responding to, you know, somebody, a subscriber. And then like Biden takes over, they shut down the world for a whole year. My mom had cancer. She was dying. They wouldn't let me like hug her because of the social distance. It's like, but then I had to make a decision, take her home, you know what I mean? And then she'd go faster or leave her where she's at to where she could like, you know, at least fight it off, you know what I mean? A little bit longer. So it's like all them decisions I have to make, and I'm literally watching the country crumble. It's just, you know, it forces you to make a decision. Like, remember when there used to be, and shout out to PGZ with the $5 donation, he said a studio apartment here in Seattle was $1,300 a month for 30 square feet. So I had to, like, me personally, like I said early on in the video, I'm not trying to tell you not to vote blue. If you feel like you are in a position that you think Kamala Harris is a better candidate for you, do what you have to do, right? Because there was times I felt like the blue people was the better pick. Until I start trying, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, yo, I don't want to be just like below average. Like I want to try, I want to make money. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do something. Then I see all the red tape that's in my way with them. And they're complaining about the rich, but they're making it harder for you to keep your money. It's like food prices are going through the roof. Interest rates went up. Even if you had an 800 credit score, you try to do everything right. You in a situation, you want to buy a car, like the cars are just crazy expensive because of interest rates and all of that. It's like, man, I cannot do another 4 years of them. I can't. That's me, my personal opinion. And they talk about the country is divided, right? I hear the blue party say that all the time, right? Country is divided. Trump is dividing the country. I think he's just talking about a lot of times now, like policies. I just seen it and I posted it multiple times. He's talking about doing away with taxes on overtime. They say he only worries about the rich. But he's talking about, no, like we need to do away with taxes for overtime because people need to be able to put that money back into the economy. This is a businessman talking. Companies are having an issue to where workers don't want to work anymore. They're becoming more complacent, or they're becoming, you know, they feel like, yo, working overtime is just not worth it. I'm not about to keep doing it. He's like, no, we need to incentivize people to work. We need to do away with taxes. Like the way he thinks is more in line with like what I want. And all this lady I'm hearing her say is that I had a great mom. I grew up in a small town. Everywhere she goes, it's the same rhetoric. Same rhetoric. Same rhetoric. Same rhetoric. They're making up family members. Candace Owens is exposing they're making up family members. Same rhetoric. Same rhetoric. And it just like, I can't keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I chose. And it's like, I don't think this is going to, I mean, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't think it's going to benefit me, but y'all are subscribing, right? Because y'all want a different perspective on things. Like we started out with 73,000, 73,500, something like that. Close to it. We at 73,794 subscribers right now. People are subscribing. They want something different. People are waking up. I see TikTok They trying to ban TikTok. They actually did. I think they put a law in that's like going to force to sell a TikTok. Why are they doing that? TikTok was like the only app that was, yeah, it's controlled, it's censored. You know what I'm saying? You can't say a whole bunch of, you can't bully people. You can't do it. You know what I mean? It's censored in that way, right? A lot of these apps that y'all be on, very censored. Very much so. Candace Owens started, like, she did a Kanye West interview. She got suspended. She had to go to Rumble. And I'm sure they probably thought it's better to have Candace Owens come back than to stay and run, because her fans went over there. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm not about to do this to her. Before Elon Musk took over Twitter, it was heavily censored. I tried never to go on it if I didn't have to. All liberal, straight liberal. He bought it. Now it's an open forum. Liberals can talk. Republicans can talk. He unsuspended people who were pro-red. He unsuspended, you know what I'm saying? People who were free thinkers. He even unsuspended. Leafy is here. Like, everybody, like, no, this is free speech until you really mess up. Now we're starting to see. Now I could be on Twitter and I could run something like this.
How can anyone take Kamala Harris serious after watching this?
Imagine me doing this on Facebook. Imagine that. You cannot do this on Facebook. You cannot. I don't even deal with Facebook. Only time I go on Facebook is if I'm looking at old pictures that I used to like post on Facebook. That's it. I have no... Instagram is heavily sanitized. Why is this allowed to sit here?
Dead because of you. Died. 15,000 children dead because of you. Stop the genocide.
This would never be allowed to be on Twitter when they had it. Why is one of the richest people... He could have bought anything. 201 million people. Make America great again. And he's a proponent of free speech. They say they don't like free speech. Excellent summary of the lawfare against real Donald Trump that was just crushed by the New York Appellate Court.
So the Trump fraud case went before the appellate court this week, and by the time it was over, the closing arguments of the Democrat lawyers was just them begging.
Shout out to Kayla for subscribing. I appreciate you. I appreciate my supporters. Inflation, food prices, crazy. Rent's going crazy. Y'all can do another 4 years of this? Not me.
So the Trump fraud case went before the appellate court this week, and by the time it was over, the closing arguments of the Democrat lawyers was just them begging to not get sanctioned. So look, many people aren't aware that the Trump fraud case went before the appeals court this week. And if you don't know how an appeals court works, there are 5 judges that sit in judgment for these cases. And they basically let the prosecution and the defense both lay out their cases. And their job is to consider whether or not the case was worth hearing in the first place. And it went so badly for the Democrat lawyers that by the end of it, their closing arguments was just them begging to not get sanctioned. So they argued a ton of different things throughout this case. But the biggest thing was the judges kept interrupting them. They kept saying, hold on. Can you find me one other time in history where the person who took the loan was able to call the bank that they took the loan from, and then that bank showed up and said, we weren't defrauded? And the lawyers spent like 2 hours trying to find one little instance where it happened. But then the judges said, okay, let's try something else. They said, hey, have you ever prosecuted someone for lying about the value of a property when it resulted in the entire loan being paid back with interest? And again, they gave them like 2 hours to try to explain their case, and they still couldn't produce a single case where that had happened. And then the judges said, hey, you know what? We'll give you another shot. They said, have you ever seen an attorney general prosecute a case where there was no damage to the public. There was no damage to the person you said was defrauded, and there was no actual malice committed by the person who took the loan. And then they took another like 6 hours on that one. And by the end of it, the judges were like, so you don't have any instance of that happening. And then by the time they were done, the judges were like, I don't even know if this is a case that should have been brought. And they said, look, y'all might need to be sanctioned for bringing this case in a malicious manner. One of the judges actually said, I have come to believe that since a case like this has never been brought in the history of the country, not only New York, that you have only brought this case because the person was running for president, which would put you afoul of not only multiple regulations regarding the law, but would also run you afoul of electioneering interference. In fact, at the end of it, when they got to give their closing arguments, instead of arguing the value of their case, instead of arguing that like we should have been able to bring this case because of X and Y and all this shit, they actually just said at the end, we hope that the court will take into account that lawyers need to be able to bring cases like this without the threat of sanction. Basically, they were saying, we hope that you decide that we're not going to get in trouble for bringing this bullshit case.
Shout out to Mafia. So whoever votes for Kamala is voting for their own destruction. MAGA, 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 MAGA.
That was what happened at the appellate court. So Trump being found guilty of fraud and having to pay 500 some odd million fucking dollars, and the whole left celebrating about that, he's going to get all that money back because the appellate court was like, this is a bullshit case. The people he took the loan from literally came to court on his behalf and said, hey, we weren't defrauded. We knew he overvalued Mar-a-Lago. We took that into our calculations. And even if we had taken that into our calculations, and the value of Mar-a-Lago was part of 0.14. Like the president of Deutsche Bank said, you know why we gave him the loan? It had nothing to do with the value of Mar-a-Lago. It had to do with we given him 21 other loans. And he has paid back all 21 with interest. We were giving him the loan regardless of the value of anything. And that's where the appellate court was like, how do you have a case? Deutsche Bank literally said we were giving him the loan regardless. And that's when they started begging to not get sanctioned. So yeah, that's
Shout out to Wes Butler with the $2 donation. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to everybody. I'm out. Come subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. I'm just a blogger. Wait a minute. I'm the new kid on the block letting y'all know what's going on in the world of entertainment. You know what I mean? And what's going on in politics right now. You know, we got an election coming up. Like I said, you know, I'm just giving y'all my thoughts and my opinions. If you have thoughts and opinions, you know, that may different from mine, you know what I mean? You can get into the comments. You can say whatever you feel. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, I don't do the bullying. Like, you can believe what you want to believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I think and what I'm seeing and my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody. I'm out. Come subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that.